Everybody be careful, watch your step. It's the chapter.
Oh, it's getting right there.
We all out?
Yes, go ahead.
You guys were fine with it
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for being here and for enduring this weather for this very important announcement. We appreciate your presence today. I'll start today asking you to recall the morning of March 12th. We gathered, as has become our tradition, just a few hundred feet away to raise a flag and our city spirits in celebration of the Grand Prix annual weekend of racing. But the usual revelry was replaced with contemplation and reflection. Mayor Kriseman's message took a last-minute turn. Emerging concerns about the coronavirus and its potential impact on our community led us to cancel the race. In a sea of uncertainty, our city's leaders stood with our mayor in a firm commitment to put our community's health first. Now, here we stand, 270 days later, many of the same leaders, plus other partners from across our city, to announce another race, steadfastly focused still on our community's health and the ongoing battle to protect each other from the devastating effects of COVID-19. Today, we launch St. Pete's Race to Safe, our community-wide effort to become and remain Florida's most COVID-safe community. We began this journey with very little information, even fewer answers, and an urgent need for the national leadership required to face down a global pandemic. Today, we know much more. We have a robust local testing strategy. We wear masks and follow other precautions to protect one another. Our local economy has found a way to move forward safely, and a vaccine is on the way. It truly is a different day. But we have a long way to go. In fact, we know as we see news of cities across our nation imposing restrictions and shutting down that our ongoing work to remain a safe and healthy community is just getting started. Our most critical days may very well be yet to come. St. Pete's committed to building a healthy community that creates equitable access and outcomes for all of us. This virus could cripple those efforts, disproportionately disrupting our most vulnerable communities in ways that could have devastating and long-lasting effects on our health, our economy, and our total way of life. Mayor Kriseman meets with his coronavirus advisors regularly. Many of them are gathered here with us today. We speak with business owners, faith leaders, and the academics who run college campuses here in St. Pete. We reach out to residents and talk to the heroes who work in and run our hospitals. Everyone's facing different acuities, different concerns, but one request is common. One thing is clear. Communication is key. We cannot share enough information, resources, guidance, and empowerment with our community in our ongoing work to stay safe, which is why we are all gathered here today. Special thanks to Marketing Director Nina Mahmoudi and the city's top-notch marketing team. They quickly created a comprehensive community-wide awareness and engagement campaign that will help us get safely across the finish line of this pandemic. And thanks to messaging genius Dex Fabian of I Love the Bird, who is also with us today, for the fabulous idea of a positive pivot that plays up our collective commitment to one another in a relatable, race-themed way. Mayor Kriseman will now share an update more about the Race to Safe campaign and what it's going to take to get to victory together. Thanks again for being here.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I also want to thank all of you in the media for being here and enduring this weather. This is an important message that we want to get out to the community, and we really couldn't do it without you all. You know, I really do believe that one of our advantages here in St. Petersburg is that we built and continue to build a culture of health through our Healthy St. Pete initiative and through Health in All policies, and we owe much credit to that culture to my Deputy Mayor, Dr. Tomlin, and to our City Council, And with us today from City Council is Councilmember Darden Rice. Thank you for being here. I also want to recognize members of my city team who are here, and of course if I try and name everyone, I know I'll leave someone out. But quite frankly, I'm incredibly fortunate to have the best city team in America by my side as we navigate this pandemic. I do, however, want to specifically thank Amber Bolding, who leads our emergency management efforts here in St. Pete. Her predecessor retired a couple of years ago, and he was a wonderful man and had big shoes to fill. And so I also need to thank our fire chief, Jim Large, for making the right call in promoting Amber. We are thankful to her, to Kayla, and her entire team. My thanks as well to the elected officials, including County Commissioner Renee Flowers, Gershom Faulkner, who represents Congressman Christ, his office, our dignitaries, the members of my advisory board, and the community leaders who are standing with me here today. Thanks to the leaders throughout the region and the state of Florida who understand the importance of taking simple precautions. Leaders like my friend across the bay, Mayor Jane Castor. And thank you to my ribbon-cutting partner and friend, CEO and President of the St. Petersburg Chamber, Chris Steinacher. Knowing that I have your support and the support of the Chamber and the business community in taking the actions that we have to slow the spread of the virus has been invaluable. Now, he wasn't able to be here today with us, but I do want to call out my partner in this effort, the County Administrator, Barry Burton, and all of the other county commissioners, along with the sheriff. Folks, we live in a big county, and we can't get and make the progress we need to if we're not all working together. And the county has been an amazing partner with us here in St. Petersburg. You know, if we could fit 270,000 residents up here, and it was safe to do that, we would. But these folks that are standing behind me are really representative of them. And I am grateful for their support during this challenging time. And although they're not here, I need to thank every single healthcare worker in St. Petersburg and in Pinellas County for putting yourselves on the front line of this public health crisis and keeping us safe. You all are heroes, each and every one of you. Now, before discussing our new campaign, I do want to provide you with a COVID update. 6.1% tested positive in yesterday's overnight county data. Nearly 5,000 tests were included in that batch, and more than 20,000 tests have been included in the last 4 days of data. So lots of people are being tested, which is great news. And we want to encourage everyone to get tested. And if you're symptomatic, please, you definitely need to be tested. Our 2-week average of percent positivity is 5.8%. This remains the lowest 2-week average among Florida's top 10 most populated counties, which is pretty good considering we happen to be the most densely populated county in the state. And as I've said time and again on social media, I am proud of where we are in comparison to others, but quite frankly, it's not good enough. We must bring that number down. In Pinellas County, hospital bed availability continues to remain stable, but we must be clear-eyed about this. 3,000 of our fellow neighbors here in Pinellas have been hospitalized. 3,000. And we're all on edge about the impact of Thanksgiving and the other holiday gatherings that may have an impact on our numbers. Now, a vaccine will come, it will be safe, and everyone should receive one. But let's be honest, folks, the majority of our community will not receive a vaccine for quite some time. And so we still have a lot of work to do. And that's why today we're announcing the Race to Safe. Given our focus on mask wearing and the cooperation we've seen from our residents and business owners, St. Pete and Pinellas County have largely remained a step ahead of the virus since day one. But we haven't been perfect. We can do more and we can do better. We've issued more citations than we should have had to. And as seen on the images Sheriff Galtieri showed the other day, too many business owners and patrons continue to let their guard down. And so we will continue to enforce existing orders. But I believe we are well positioned to be Florida's most COVID-safe community. If any county or city can bring their percentage of positivity down even more, it's Pinellas and it's St. Pete. We can do this. We've done it before. Our efforts have evolved as this virus has evolved. First, we restarted St. Pete in a safe and responsible manner, the St. Pete way. And we were doing well in spite of the federal and state response to this pandemic. However, the state's phase 3 reopening and the sudden inability to enforce our individual mask mandate, as well as the confusion that followed, proved to be too much even for our community. It's time that we recommit ourselves, that we make good, smart, healthy choices. In the coming days, you'll begin to see race to safe education occurring throughout the city, from sidewalks to billboards to social media. Right now, at stpeteRacetoSafe.com, there's a new toolkit. You'll see it alongside other helpful information. You'll also see the Race to Safe standings, showing where we are in comparison to Florida's most populated counties. Now, I want to reiterate something about this virus and about our actions in response to it. This isn't about politics. It isn't about posturing. It's about public health. It's about saving lives. And the most important job of any elected official is public health and safety and protecting the lives of the community we serve. So think about this. In Pinellas County alone, we have lost nearly 1,000 of our neighbors to COVID-19. 1,000. That's not just a number. It's 1,000 people who made our community better. Moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, brothers, sisters, friends, colleagues. Gone. Let's honor these people by doing the right thing, by wearing a mask, by making good decisions. Let's reconsider hosting or attending public or private events or having friends over to our home. Let's hold our office parties by Zoom. Let's celebrate the holidays wisely this year so that we're around for them next year. This is St. Pete. This is sunshine at the end of the tunnel, even if it isn't sunny today. Soon we'll have coherent, consistent messaging coming from Washington. We'll have a vaccine. It's been a long 9 months, but we have just a little further to go. So I'm asking every resident, every business owner, every visitor to join this race to safe. Let's make St. Pete and Pinellas County the COVID safest city and county in the state of Florida. Let's make sure our residents and visitors feel safe living here and visiting here. Let's make sure our businesses can continue to stay open until a vaccine is available to everyone. To me, this campaign is the right step. It's our last and best chance at having our economy coexist with the virus before having to put more restrictions in place. And so again, I thank you all for coming today, and with that, I'll come down there and take some questions. Thank you all again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, your mics are up there. All right, why don't I just stay here? Let that truck pass. Okay.
Yeah, me neither, but it's funny, right about when you did, Amy was asking me questions. Is there going to be a ramp up?
Is there going to be a ramp up of enforcement? Yeah, we have been doing enforcement now since, actually pretty much since the beginning, although we ramped it up certainly after we went about 5%. We're going to continue our efforts at enforcement. You know, what I'm hoping is that we don't have to do any because everybody's following the rules. One of the things that I heard in our most recent meeting with staff is that compliance was taking a turn better. We want to see that continue. But know that if you are violating the order, we will continue to enforce those orders.
Mary, does anything
No, we are not putting any additional restrictions in place at this point. And the county had a press conference last week with County Administrator Barry Burton and the sheriff, and they said the same thing. At this point, they are not also putting any additional restrictions in place. But I think what you heard from the sheriff was he did the same thing that we're doing. We're asking everybody to comply, but he said that if people are not complying with the order, they will give him no choice but to start enforcing the order countywide. So we're hoping we don't have to do additional restrictions. If everybody wears their mask, if we socially distance, if you follow the rules of the order that are in place, certainly as it relates to distancing between tables, being seated when you're being served, we'll see that number drop down. We won't have to do any further restrictions. Again, we want to get below 5%. That was our target before. It's our target still. We're at 5.8% right now. And we really do believe that, hopefully with this campaign and raising awareness and educating the public again, trying to bring clarity to what the rules are, between the work that we're doing and what the county is doing, that we'll see that number drop and get below that 5%. And we'll take a look in a couple weeks and see where we're at. We expect the results of this campaign to start showing within the next couple weeks.
You want the lowest to average.
Yeah, but our goal clearly as for this campaign isn't just to get below 5%. It is to have the lowest 2-week rolling average in the state of Florida and to maintain that and stay as the lowest.
We've been above 5% for a while. At what point do you, now a couple of weeks now, maybe we're looking at re-implementing some restrictions. At what point does that happen? What metrics? How much time? How many days? When does that happen?
Yeah, again, this is a new program that we're putting out, and between our efforts and what the county did toward the end of last week, our expectation is that within 2 to 3 weeks, if there's going to be an impact of these new campaigns, that we'll start to see it. If we don't, I'll be having conversations, as I always do, with the county administrator. We'll talk about what their game plan is and what ours is here in St. Pete. Certainly, if the county and the city are united in our efforts, it works better. But we're certainly, and we've done it before, we'll do things on our own if we need to, but we have a great relationship with the county, so my expectation is we'll probably be doing things unified.
Mayor, what is different in the messaging with this campaign compared to the messaging that residents and business owners have been receiving for the last 8 months?
I think we're challenging in a different way our residents. We think that certainly we saw early during when COVID first started that Pinellas County can be the lowest in the state. We think we can do that again and continue to do that and outshine everyone else. And so we're challenging our community. We want everyone to play a part because it's going to take everyone in the community to be involved in helping us win this race, to be the best in the state of Florida. And so that's really, it's a little different way of going at it. Instead of just asking people to do the right thing, we want to challenge them to take part in this race, to be competitive. Let their competitive spirit come out, and let's show that we're the best here in St. Pete and in Pinellas County.
And Mayor, did you receive an update where last week you said law enforcement was going to be reminding business owners of what they need to be doing? Did you hear of more compliance this past weekend following that effort?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was not able to be on our call this morning to get a status from my staff, so I'll do that as soon as this is over to see where we're at. But the sheriff has started putting out countywide the signage reminding people. We're certainly, our toolkit is now going out and is being distributed. And we're encouraging everyone to go on and take advantage of that toolkit, put the signs out, participate in this race. And I do think we'll see a difference. I'm very optimistic.
Can you speak to what's in the toolkit?
I can.
Okay, thank you.
The toolkit includes various messages around the Race to Safe campaign and the collateral materials that it takes to spread those messages. Suggested social media posts, flyers, posters, facts about how to get to the website, And all of the partners that you saw standing here have agreed to co-own this. This is a community-wide campaign. It is not the city's campaign. And so they will also act as important distribution partners to make sure that this spreads much further than our reach, but really goes into the homes and the lives of the 270,000 people who call St. Pete home.
Thank you. And Mayor, one question for you. I know you kind of alluded to it, but the Pinellas County Sheriff basically said, you know, we're going to start tracking down on these businesses. Is that the same message that I know you said you didn't want to find them, but will you if necessary?
Yeah, we've been doing that, and we will continue to do that. You know, it's our hope is that we don't have to. We would much prefer to have compliance with the orders. It's in everyone's best interest. You know, quite frankly, it's been one of the things that's puzzled me about the position that's come down from Tallahassee. You know, if you really care about our economy and keeping our economy open, a mask mandate is very simple. Requiring everyone to wear a mask and to socially distance is very simple. That's the best way to keep our economy going. That's the best way to keep our businesses open.
Mayor President, what is your suggestion or advice to the faith community as far as worship is concerned?
So worship's the same way. I mean, certainly the weather has been, excluding today, has been pretty nice outside. You know, and let God come down and shine His light on everyone. Hold your services outside if you can. But please, you know, if you're going to have services in the faith-based community, ask everyone, implore everyone to wear their mask if they're inside, to socially distance to the greatest degree possible. Continue to do services in a hybrid fashion where Zoom. I've heard from several pastors who said their attendance in services has actually increased because of Zoom services and holding them online. And so they're actually being able to reach more people with their word by doing it that way. And so we want to encourage them to continue to consider doing that.
And Mayor, I just want to follow up that from the healthcare perspective. I know that you mentioned about our healthcare workers. When they are out, how's staffing going in those areas? Because if they're there taking care, they get sick. How are we replacing the staff?
Yeah, so hospitalization right now, where we're at, we're in a good place. Same with staffing, but that's where we're trying to maintain. And as long as we can keep our numbers down, we can maintain to make sure, or continue to make sure that we have adequate staffing and bed space available. That's the concern you see happening around the country right now, where their numbers are escalating, and the result of that is the number of people being hospitalized is escalating, and the risk to the healthcare workers is increasing. So this is what this is about, folks. It's about trying to prevent that from happening here in St. Petersburg and in this county. All right.
Have you been down towards the pier and beach drive on the weekends? Curious what your reaction is to some of the crowds of people that have been gathering. I know it's such a destination, especially with the pier coming. How does your message or reaction?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about the pier, you know, and I think that's the reason that you've seen people going to the pier is because it is 26 acres. And it's really an opportunity to be outside and do so safely. Quite frankly, our timing in opening the pier ended up being perfect to have that space available for people and for this community to enjoy, but be able to enjoy it safely. And we have seen some concerns in some of the areas in downtown, and some of those businesses have been cited. And so all we can do is encourage them. You know, let's do the right thing. Let's come together as a community, join us in this race, and let's make St. Pete and Pinellas County the safest city and county in the state of Florida. Thank you all.